Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Superhero Roundup Live here on SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman. Joining me this week, unfortunately, Messrs. Sam and DJ are not here. They are both busy, and we wish them the best, and they will be back next week. But we have fantastic guests today. Maude Garrett is here, as always. Mr. Steve Zaragoza is joining us this week.
Hey!
And Mr. Dan Casey of Nerdist.com is here.
Hey.
And Dan, you just wrote a new book.
It's true. I wrote a book all about the Avengers, 100 Things Avengers fans should know and do before they die.
What's number 41?
Number 41 is proceed directly to chapter 69, and it's like a choose your own adventure book. It's not at all. I don't remember what number 41 is. I just kind of blacked out, woke up, had a book in my hands.
Wow,
Rad.
that's how you do it.
What is something most people wouldn't think of that they should do before they die if they're an Avengers fan?
Something
Well,
that most
don't
people
die.
wouldn't think of is, well, you can't do it this year, but you should go attend Marvel's Hall H panel at Comic-Con before you die if you're a diehard Avengers fan, because that's where all the crazy stuff happens. It's where we make the announcements. That's where Tom Hiddleston comes out dressed as Loki and says, say my name like he's Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Although I will say this year Marvel is not doing
That's
a
why-
Hall
yeah,
H
it's-
panel.
can't do it this year.
Can't do it this year, and who knows? Maybe not again.
They'll probably be there again.
I think-
for sure, because D23 is not every year.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
And we are going to be chatting a lot more about Comic-Con because it is just around the corner. So a lot of things that we hope we'll see there too. That discussion coming later.
Yes, so today on the show, we're going to be talking about a ton of news that dropped this week. The Spider-Man casting, Spider-Man director. We're going to be talking about a potential Green Lantern Corps movie. Chris Pine. Kevin Feige just did a big interview with The Hollywood Reporter with Paul Rudd. They talked a lot about Ant-Man and the future. We're going to talk about some of that. The question of the day, which will be our last segment here on the show today, is Ben Affleck is rumored to be directing the new standalone Batman film, supposedly called The Batman. Is that a good idea? Can someone possibly direct a good superhero movie and deliver a good performance at the same time? We're not sure. And we're going to talk about Comic-Con. We're going to talk about Ant-Man.
Yes, Lance Jensen, who knows Dan from the Dan Cave. That's
It's
pretty
true.
cool.
That's my
pretty
cave.
damn cool.
We got a big deal on the couch here.
Yeah.
Who? Where?
It's kind of a big deal.
So let's start by talking about the Spider-Man casting and the directors. So Tom Holland, the young guy, he got cast as Spider-Man. I haven't really seen much of his performances. I watched like a couple of clips here and there. A bunch of people started uploading clips of The Impossible and other projects when his name first came into contention. And the kid definitely has chops. I don't know necessarily if he is Peter Parker, what his Peter Parker will feel like, but he's a talented young actor.
Oh my gosh, Peter Parker, are you kidding me? They're like he must be a 16-year-old kid in high school. Bam!
Oh man, we lost one of our bands on the wall there. I don't know what that was.
That's what you get for doubting Tom
Yeah, I
Holland.
know, it's like
Yeah,
instant
yeah.
His spirit
karma.
haunts this studio.
Seriously.
But, there's going to be a nerdy kid in high school that kind of feels down and out. He gets a little bit bullied. He gets bitten by a spider. And what do you know? This guy kind of, I just kind of want him to...
What?
Well,
To
tell
be
us
in-
how you really feel.
To be what? Andrew Garfield?
Anything else?
I just think we've seen this character so
many times.
Yeah.
It's like
only
third
twice.
time's a charm.
We're not going to see Uncle Ben die a third time. He's
can't
already
handle it.
been murdered. Uncle Ben is dead. All he has left are his mini bowls. Now we have Peter Parker. What they're going for, whether it's Peter Parker or Miles Morales, the important thing is you have that image of this scrawny kid next to freaking Thor.
Yeah.
That's going to be like a powerful image right there. You just see this like scrawny little teen next to an actual god of thunder. And I love Peter Parker. I'm hoping that Miles Morales will get him in the one that Lord and Miller are doing. They're doing a standalone animated movie.
the animated one.
I'd love for that to be Miles Morales, or maybe at some point we will see Miles Morales. But
That
in the
has to happen.
meantime, we got Peter Parker. Tom Holland, I think, is a great choice. He was uploading a bunch of videos to Instagram of him doing like weird flips and stuff in his
Yeah,
backyard.
I saw that. That was
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat.
The thing is with Miles Morales, I feel like American studio executives are too terrified of whether or not people will show up to see a black superhero. I can't believe that this is still a question, but until Black Panther opens and opens big, we will never see Miles Morales outside of a TV realm.
I think now is the perfect chance to do it because he's going to pop up in Civil War. You know, he's alongside a bunch. It's not like a standalone.
I
in a way.
completely agree with you, but I'm just saying in terms of how their minds work, and these are people who are just terrified of losing their jobs, they will not take a risk like that, and for them it is a risk until Black Panther opens in a big way.
It's crazy that is a bigger risk than a talking raccoon and a sentient tree.
How is that a bigger risk? How? It boggles my mind.
Because people are dumb. think
I
general
like my
audiences are
Pete
dumb.
Speederman the way I remember my Pete Speederman.
Who is Pete Speederman?
You know, Tom Holland.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, with Tom Holland, how old is he? He's like 19? I just kind of feel like, can you imagine going on set with Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, like these huge physically and in every sense of the word actors, and then having to bring it? That would be one of the more intimidating things that anyone would have to go to in life.
You got your Scarlett Johansson, and you got your whoever that guy is that plays Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner. Yeah, you got those guys. I mean, you know, they're not so super heavy hitters there. But you're right. He's going up against some pretty...
Whoa, Scarlett Johansson.
I mean, she's great, but I mean, she's not like...
Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner, both Academy Award nominees. Robert Downey Jr., Academy Award nominee. Chris Hemsworth, not an Academy Award nominee, but a huge movie star right now. Chris Evans, huge movie star. It's incredibly intimidating.
But I think it's like, he'll be fine.
Paul Bettany, Academy Award
He'll be
nominee.
fine.
There's also pretty much everyone else in those movies. Paul Rudd's there. You got The Vision. What's his name? Paul Bettany.
Paul
You just
Bettany.
mentioned him. And Elizabeth Olsen's going to be there too. Like, it is a huge movie.
Yeah.
So hopefully
He'll be
enough people will be.
fine.
Yeah, it's a very welcoming group. Everyone I've ever interviewed from Marvel really stresses like what a nice, warm, like welcoming family type group it is. So it'll be fine. They'll take him under their wing.
Yeah, and plus I'm not worried about a scrawny kid visually being with up against a Thor like you were saying, because he'll be in the Spider-Man costume.
That's the
and
more
enough
intimidating thing.
But that's
oh
enough
my
of
gosh,
an iconic...
and then he's got to put on a body lycra suit in front of these people?
Oh no, he gets to change in a different room.
Yeah, he gets to go to a trailer and
the
change.
little superheroes room.
Yeah.
Now put on your costume.
Yeah.
You want to be a superhero or what?
The little
I
boys
want to
room.
see you in it.
Oh, dear.
Pete Spiderman.
Can you do whatever a spider can?
I want to read a tweet here from Olivia McFly at Olivia from Pluto. I still don't understand why they are making a Spider-Man a freshman. It just feels so young for a superhero. I think they want to do 4 movies set in high school. They want to do 4 movies set in high school. A lot of Spider-Man's formative experiences are all in high school, and it keeps it in a different realm from all of these other movies. I think the one thing that makes it such an incredibly smart choice to put it in high school is it prevents those movies from feeling samey to anything else going on in the Marvel universe right now.
It also gives audiences a chance to grow up with this character. They're trying to do what Harry Potter did, where they have this like 8-year saga of people growing up with this character all along. Also, speaking of Harry Potter, this is the 18 years ago today, I believe. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out in the UK.
Wow.
Which is
Yeah.
insane.
Wow.
Philosopher's Stone, excuse me.
Yeah, the
purists.
book. The book, not the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like a dad someday going into the video store or like going to like try to pick up Spider-Man on Amazon and be like, I want Spider-Man for my son. And there's like 9 different versions of Spider-Man, and you have to be like an expert to know which one has like this new kid or which one's the Andrew Garfield one or the Tobey Maguire one. It's gonna be a big old shit
It
show.
just, when they're doing it in such quick succession, like, I just
It's
feel
so
like
fast.
Tobey Maguire was just the other day, at least with Batman, it was, 25, 30 years ago almost, way back. And then they kind of, had this complete reinvention. This one, it's just like same shit, different smell.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah, maybe. But I didn't hate The Amazing Spider-Man.
No, they had a good cast. They were just saddled by bad writing and bad directing.
Yeah.
And great chemistry.
Yeah.
I liked Andrew Garfield as
No,
Peter
the
Parker.
casting was excellent.
Yeah.
It was easily the strongest part of both films, but the screenplays were just awful.
There's no way Andrew Garfield should have been a high schooler. Like, just put him in college.
Put him in college.
Sean Jackson is asking, which villain and love interest do we want in the new Spider-Man movies?
Well, if it's high school, we don't get a choice who the love interest is, right? Isn't it Gwen Stacy?
It's Gwen.
Are we going to see that again, though?
Well, they went with Mary Jane in high school in the
original,
first one, so they can really go whichever way they want. I feel like audiences, they just saw Gwen. Emma Stone was a great Gwen. I think it's time for a new Mary Jane because whether you like her or you hate her, Kirsten Dunst was a very divisive Mary Jane. There were some people who thought she did a fine job. There were some people who absolutely hated her. I don't know how many people thought she was perfect. So I feel like there's room for that. In terms of villains, I'd love to see someone new. I'd really love to see someone new.
You want like a Mysterio?
Mysterio would be great.
Man, Mysterio would be awesome. I'd also love to see like a Kraven's Last Hunt type thing where he
Totally.
gets buried alive. Like this teenager just buried alive trying to fight off this
Oh
hunter.
my god.
See, I don't see that being the first one,
No,
but that would be
no.
a great follow-up
Like
because it's
2 or 3.
it's a completely unexpected move. It's a very different kind of villain. Somebody who is just like, it's purely about sport, and they're just like a crazy, amazing hunter.
I would like to see a good Rhino.
Okay,
Somewhere
fair enough.
Paul Giamatti is shedding a single tear.
I know. Your mother.
He was the most entertaining part of that movie, though.
I don't know about
I know
that.
he's
No,
wrong.
it
What
was
about Jamie Foxx's
cringeworthy.
endlessly breathy performance?
Oh my god, it was
Aw,
the
man.
worst. And
I-
his
but
like
again, I
fucking
also,
score,
like-
the weird carnival
Oh, yeah,
score
yeah,
that
yeah.
was his.
But at
theme.
least someone's doing something different with score these days. Like no one has a theme anymore, and that was a very
Yeah.
like prominent theme. For
Wasn't that
character.
Pharrell Williams? He worked with Hans Zimmer on that.
It was Hans Zimmer, Pharrell Williams, and one other person.
The
I can't
dude that no
remember
one
who.
remembers.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
How many composers does it take to make a good score?
Yeah, so many.
Upwards of two,
upwards of
apparently.
two.
Spinelli in the chat says that Black Cat should be in the movie. Joe Allen says Chloe Grace Moretz as Gwen Stacy. That could be
Interesting.
Yeah.
very good casting, I think.
I'd like to see her as Spider-Gwen.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be really cool. She's a
Yes.
badass.
The Vulture. That's right. We haven't seen the Vulture in a
Vulture.
while.
The
Yeah.
Vulture, Tycho Z says the Vulture, and Liban Osman says Hydro Man. Or it's Hydro, first of all, not Hydro Man.
Oh.
And yeah.
Oh.
Come on, come on. It's Hydro.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Doc Ock. I think that Dr. Ock was one of like the better villains. But when Dr. Ock figured out how to actually change bodies with Spider-Man and then killed Dr. Ock, who was technically Peter Parker, like I mean, that could be interesting. But figure out how to
Yeah.
cheat death again,
I fe-
which is a Marvel way.
You want some superior Spider-Man action like right out the gate? Because I feel like that's like jumping the gun a little bit. You got to introduce this kid first.
Gotta ramp
then
it
like
up a
kill him
little
in
bit.
movie 4.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Kill him
No, let's
right
just-
as he's coming out of high school and he's full of life.
No, let's just go straight out. Let's go left field and just do Marvel Zombies
Yeah.
with this new Spider-Man. Just go like the third
like
one.
Gwen's
let's-
there with her broken
We'll
neck.
bring back
could be
Tobey
cool.
Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Do the Clone Saga.
Yes, and we'll have Mr. Fantastic open a portal, and then the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's there. And
Hubert Motley Jr. at Grunk says everyone forgets the Betty Brant years, but he wasn't dating Betty Brant in high school.
Was that afterwards when he was working
Until
at the...
now.
He met her at the Planet.
Yeah.
Or not the Planet.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Bugle. Oh my
He's gonna
God.
write for the Daily
That's
Blogle.
super,
It's gonna be
yeah.
great.
whatever, that's not a bad slip.
Yeah,
It could
I
be
want
worse.
to talk about the director choice, John Watts, who just worked with Tom Holland on Cop Car. I've not seen the movie. Trailer looks great, but we watched his first movie, Clown.
We watched Clown,
which
yeah.
is
No,
dope.
no.
Clown is awesome.
It was at least very ballsy. It was
Yeah.
very ballsy,
Very ballsy,
but kind of
very
boring towards the end.
kind of, but I feel like it was a very self-assured movie. Like the guy took
It
chances.
was just fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Nothing fun about clowns, guys. What is wrong with you?
Well, everything fun about a good horror movie with
Yeah.
gore.
Wait,
and just
explain what
senseless
Clown is
violence.
about, real quick.
Clown's about a guy who is trying to shuffle around and get a clown ready for his kid's birthday party, and while trying to scramble a costume together, he finds an old trunk in the attic with an old clown outfit in it, and he puts it on, entertains the children. Great success. Next day, he tries to take the clown outfit off, and it won't come off. Turns out it's cursed from an ancient. I guess clowns were like these ancient creatures that used to eat children. And
It
so,
explains why we're so afraid of him.
but it's really cool. It's a cool concept, but
Yeah.
it's like very much like because Eli Roth, I believe, produced it, and so it's got like this Eli Roth kind of tongue in cheek. Do you know what we're talking about? Have you...
I do. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Clown with a K, right?
Right? No,
Yeah.
no. It's still Clown with a C.
With a C? All right.
Yeah, I think that
Thinking
might
of
be a different
movie.
one.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, but in this one, it's got like some pretty like interesting imagery. Like at one point, I believe he tries to commit suicide with the gun to his mouth, and when he tries to blow his head off, it's like confetti on the head, and like all this like paint and gooey
Yeah.
clown stuff.
No thanks.
Whatever does happen, I guarantee we're not going to get confetti blood in the new
No.
Spider-Man film. But he made such an impression on Kevin Feige that he gave him the job. So I'm very, very curious to see what he does.
And
with it.
Marvel's had such a good track record with choosing
James Gunn?
exciting, dynamic directors, and they're really going out there. Yeah, James Gunn, case in point. Like, they want people who are self-assured, have a visual style, and are going to bring their own perspective to it. And he's shown with Clown, he's shown with Cop Car that he can do exactly that, do something visually dynamic with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Kevin Feige in his Hollywood Reporter interview was very quick to bring up James Gunn in that conversation of like this guy is just as talented as James in that same sort of way where that's clearly a James Gunn movie. We do protect filmmakers. They're still trying to come out from under all this Edgar Wright hullabaloo. Everyone just going nuts over the movie and over the fact that he exited, and we were all upset, all of us. But I'm actually kind of looking forward to Ant-Man, and we'll get more into it a little later.
Right, and also mentioning Edgar Wright, and we should bring this up again later too when we talk about Ant-Man. But I've heard that Edgar Wright's stuff is still very much a part of the Ant-Man.
Well, all of the
film
action
still.
sequences were fully prevised by Edgar Wright before he left the project. So all of the action sequences are still very much, I think, his, or at least a collaboration.
It's definitely a collaboration. The spine of the story that he and Joe Cornish put together is still there. I saw the movie. I did the junket. I'm happy to talk about it.
Yes.
Ooh, no spoilers,
I can't
please.
spoil it. Spoiler alert. There's ants in it.
Oh,
no!
You ruined it!
Hold on to your thoraxes. No, I think that this really speaks to Marvel's directorial track record. They did good by choosing Edgar Wright at first. He exited the project as Marvel wants to exert a certain amount of creative control over their projects, but Peyton Reed, who they brought in, a lot of people write him off because they don't really think that he had the chops to do it.
Yeah.
But he did. He was working on a Fantastic Four movie back then. It sounded freaking amazing.
Yeah, he was the second choice for Guardians of the Galaxy. He almost got the job. And also, Down with Love, while it's not in any way a
I
superhero
like
movie,
it.
is a great movie.
And also, Peyton Reed directed a lot of comedy,
Bring it on.
but also I believe he directed a lot of Mr. Show, or was it? What's the sketch comedy show that he directed?
Definitely not
Episodes
Mr. Show.
Damn it! There's some kind of Peyton Reed
Who
stuff.
was in it? Do you remember?
No, I can't really think about it. Someone hopefully in the comments has an answer to that, or maybe I'll check it out in a sec. But
Yeah, so if you know, write in the comments. I forgot to say it at the top, but we do this show live every single Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to watch live with us, live tweet us, live comment, you should join us at 4 p.m. Pacific every single week.
And we're also on iTunes, so if you rate and review, that always helps. We really appreciate that. Get nice and creative with your answers and reviews so that it's not a boring, tedious thing to do, even though it's a massive favor for us.
Yes, thank you.
Yay.
So I want to move from the Marvel Universe to the DC Universe. We're going to come back to the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
So the big rumor that came out this week was that... what is it?
Mr. Show.
It was Mr.
Wow.
Show.
Yeah, Mr. Show. He directed 3 episodes in 1998, and he also directed some Upright Citizens Brigade episodes.
Very cool.
Not too shabby.
And the Weird Al show as well.
It's another sketch show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah. Well, Not Too Shabby is a live
At
sketch show.
UCB in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Dan and I are on the same page. So there is a rumor that the Green Lantern movie, to further separate it from the original Green Lantern film, is going to be a cosmic Green Lantern Corps movie
Yes.
with multiple lanterns, and that they are potentially looking at Chris Pine to play the role of Hal Jordan in the film.
So the 3 core members that they're going to have is Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, and Guy Gardner. And a lot of people are going, Guy Gardner over Kyle Rayner? What is wrong with
All
you?
day, Guy Gardner over Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
He's far more interesting.
Is that a good thing or bad? Do I have a gingery bowl cut right now?
Come here.
Oh, no.
Come close.
Yes, you do.
No, my precious hair.
Yes.
My
How dare you.
strands. My flaxen strands.
Also, really quick, Maud, you did a story this week on Nerd about the 3 Green Lanterns, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did,
Just
yeah.
for a quick plug on the Nerd channel.
Oh, yeah. If you want to see who I would cast as all 5 of the Green Human Lanterns, check out the Nerd video, which is all about this
All
story.
5? Who am I missing?
Kyle Rayner, Simon Baz.
Simon Baz is the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart, Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan,
Or Miss
I don't
And
mind
Alan
this-
Scott.
Alan Scott, the original.
I don't. Oh, they know that
It doesn't work against wood.
No.
he's been completely overlooked.
So
Yeah, I know.
I'm really
Where's Alan?
excited that they're taking this approach. I feel like this is what they should have done with the first movie, and it's smart on their part because just in case whoever they cast as Hal doesn't hit with the audience and another character does, they can swap him out or bring in a different lantern at some other point throughout this franchise. I think it's a smart move.
I didn't hate Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan.
Oh no,
I thought it
he
was great casting.
He was
at
the
very
best
least.
part of that movie.
Yeah.
But nothing could have saved that movie. No amount of
Yeah.
charisma could have saved that movie.
Yeah.
And he's going to be so much better as Deadpool.
Truly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd rather go. You know what? Walk away from that project. Let's go focus everything on Deadpool. And you're pointing at the screen at.
Yeah, what are you looking
Red
for?
Lanterns,
Someone just
please.
asked who would I cast as Jon Stewart. I want to see I know everyone says Idris Elba,
I do.
Idris Elba, or
Idris.
however you want to pronounce it.
Luther.
I'd like to see a Mos Def.
Most
Jon
Def,
Interesting.
to
I
me,
like Mos Def.
I
a
love
lot.
him as an actor, but I don't see him as a Marine. I've never seen him have that level of command in an acting
Maybe it's
role.
time.
Maybe it's time, and maybe
Maybe
he
it's
could.
time.
And now he goes by his real name, Yassine Bey. I love Mos, Common, I think, is also a solid choice.
Yeah, but he's in Suicide Squad.
He's in Suicide Squad. That's
I would
right.
say David Oyelowo might be an interesting choice.
That would also be.
What
a great
about
choice.
childish Danny Glover? Why don't we put him?
Too
in there?
young.
Yeah,
you mean
think
old
so?
Miles Morales?
No, I mean what's his
Look,
name?
I will fight for
Donald Glover?
Donald Glover. I will fight for Chiwetel Ejiofor in anything.
Well, he's Baron Mordo in Marvel. He's going to be in Doctor Strange.
You're
Yeah.
right.
He's going to be going up
Everyone's
against Benedict
snapping up all the,
Cumberbatch.
all the good actors. That's going to be
well, no.
so
What
fun.
about here's a guy who's been like gunning for it, Tyrese Gibson, from The Fast and the Furious.
He would do a fine job. Is what I'll say to
a fine
that.
job.
Yeah, he's got presence to spare. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been blown away by his acting chops. By his acting.
What about Mike Coulter? Oh, never mind. He's gonna be Iron Fist. Or,
Is that
excuse me,
all the
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
JB
yeah.
Smoove. What about him?
Yeah, he will yell every line.
Yeah. What about Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy,
Listen,
Chris Tucker.
you put the Murph in any project, I will be there opening day.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Oh, come on. Did you see him in Dreamgirls? He's actually an incredible dramatic actor.
No, I love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
His earlier days. Love me some Beverly Hills Cop. Love me some Coming to America.
Shit, I'll even watch Tower Heist.
Yeah.
We're completely overlooking the fact that Chris Pine is actually in talks of being
Steve
Trevor
Trevor
for Wonder Woman. So is that going to be a conflict if he's Hal Jordan and Steve Trevor?
Well, he can't be both. The question
Exactly.
is, was he ever being talked about for Steve Trevor, or was that a smokescreen to avoid getting fanboys in a tizzy over Green Lantern?
I bet he was probably in talks for both, but then they realized they might be able to capitalize on his star power better in a Green Lantern movie. But I think they'd like to work him in if they can, because he's got the panache, he's got that rising star, he's got the Star Trek fandom behind him.
Well, all that anyone is talking about is that Warner Brothers is trying to lock in their Justice League cast so they can pull a Marvel and show the full Justice League at Comic-Con this year. And they are, 2 weeks out?
Yikes.
2 weeks out and it's still not locked?
Yeah, just a little under 2 weeks, it seems.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time, folks. I don't know. Is it still impressive to bring out everybody except for the folks you haven't cast?
I think they should wait until next year, then bring out the entire cast. Doesn't matter if we know everyone. Like, we knew when they brought out the Avengers, everyone knew
How about this?
who they were, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring them out, but bring them out in their full Justice League costumes.
That'd be amazing, but
Yeah.
like they're nowhere near ready. Like
No, I'm saying next year if they do
Oh,
it
yes.
next
Yeah.
year.
That
If
would
they
be
do it next
incredible.
That would be worth the wait.
Yeah, this year I'd rather hear them talk more about their slate, firm up some stuff, give us some footage, give us some like key art, just show us, because you announced everything. Like they blew their proverbial load in terms of like what's going to be coming up down the pipeline.
Folks in the chat are asking, what about Terry Crews for Jon Stewart?
Nice.
I love Terry Crews. I would like to see him try something a little more dramatic because I love him as a comedic actor, but
Yeah, I think he's a great comedic actor. He also may be too old, but I'm just going to throw out Lance Reddick because I think his voice is amazing and he's super commanding from The Wire.
Who's the guy that was Mr. Echo? Is he already in Suicide Squad? I
Yes.
thought?
Yes, he
Oh,
is.
He's
man.
Killer Croc.
Well,
Yeah. So, talking about Comic-Con, let's talk Comic-Con. I want to talk about what we think Warner Brothers has to. What does Warner Brothers have to do to have a successful Comic-Con? What are the things they have to do? For me, the Batman v Superman trailer has to be awesome. It has to kick serious ass. Whether or not they have the full Justice League there, whatever movies they announce, it can't just be this superhero's getting movie, this superhero's getting movie. There has to be some kind of a twist. I remember when they had that leaked slate last summer, and there was some talk of like a Green Lantern Flash team-up movie. That's something different, something we haven't seen. What do you guys think?
We're going to get an, I say Aquaman. It's not Aqua, it's Aqua. I think we're going to have like
who are you talking about when you do that mocking voice?
I'm echoing everyone.
Everyone in the world.
Everyone who pays me out for saying Aquaman. But I think we could get a first look at him in action, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Well, I mean, they announced James Wan as the director, so that's kind of coming into fruition. It would be kind of cool to see. I mean, we saw a still that Snyder put out on his own account. It'd be kind of cool to see what he's like.
What they need to do, the way that they will win hearts and minds, is with footage. They need to show teaser trailers, even if it's just like a 15, 30-second thing. Just like show us the characters in action, give us a taste of what we're in for, not just like heavily photoshopped stuff that says Unite the Seven.
That's all they've ever done. We've seen.
They can put stuff together they can do an early thing. They could easily have put together a shoot. They have James Wan. They have Khal Drogo. I can't remember his name. Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
They have them together. Like they've had so much time. Just
Steve,
show
you
us
think
something.
about the stuff that we're able to do just with a green screen and the folks that we work with. They could take a day and shoot an incredible sizzle, a 15 to 30 second sizzle that would blow your mind.
I guess you're right. I mean, at least maybe like I feel like didn't they show previs from something at one year?
No,
at Comic-Con?
Dan nailed it on the head. All you see is a brooding shot. Last year we saw the first look of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and it was that kind of like action shot. We've seen Jason Momoa as Aquaman in his stoic shot. You know, you just kind of, but it's the same thing. It's that dark, brooding shot. Yeah, it's great to show off the costume if you see any of it and like their look. But I want to hear what Gal Gadot sounds like. I want to know the feel of Aquaman.
Folks in the chat are also saying we need to see Suicide Squad. We need to hear what the Joker sounds like.
They're 100% gonna have a Suicide Squad.
Oh, there
trailer.
has to be.
Like if
That's
they
the only thing
don't,
they
what
haven't
have they
shown.
been shooting?
Right. Why have
Yeah.
they been inundating us with
Yeah.
leaks and crap?
I don't want to see this whole movie on Instagram before I see it in the theater.
Yeah, I honestly think if they show us the whole Justice League, that's really all they have to do. Like that's really they have to show us
to
that
have a
full,
successful comic.
to have a successful Comic-Con, because like we already know Batman v Superman's coming. We already know Aquaman's there. We already know the Joker's coming or whatever. But you're right, people want to see footage, but I feel like the only thing they really need is to show their Justice League.
Do you know what I would love?
Footage and stuff is just the
What would
icing
you
on
love?
the cake.
Picture the DC studio in Hall H, and it's like the show's starting, and like everything, boom, and you hear the music, and you hear that, boom. Exactly, you hear that, and then all you hear is, pudding. How freaking awesome would that be?
The lights come up. Everyone has a pudding pack.
Look under your desk.
Yeah.
or under
You
your
get
chairs.
pudding, and you get pudding.
pudding.
Where do you think they get the trucks full of pudding for
But
that?
you know, like in Suicide
Oh,
Squad,
they're already there.
you know,
I
how,
don't think that counts, buddy.
it would also be so cool if they had like those clowns.
Close.
You know Joker's squad. I'm so sorry. I'm glad I got an idea, and I'm picturing it. It looks really cool. You know, Joker's squad. Usually they're all like clown faces and they're running around and they're thugs.
Yeah.
If the lights come on and they're like doing circling laps and stuff, and then like painting people.
Well, no, you pull
Painting
a
people's faces.
pull
Yeah.
a Loki, pull a Tom Hiddleston, and it's Margot Robbie doing doing Harley Quinn live in Hall H. That would be a huge deal. Jared Leto doing Joker live in Hall H, and that's the first time we hear his voice. That would be a huge deal. But it's still ultimately ripping that off. To me, no matter what else they have that's cool, whatever, we know that these movies are coming, and casting notices are great, but we have no idea if the movies will be any good.
Yeah.
And footage
We're not
is
gonna
the
find that
only
out
way
until you watch it.
to know whether or not it'll be good.
Footage is not going to prove the movie will be good.
No, but it could
No, but it's
make
going
me
to
think it'll be
hopefully,
good.
it might hopefully change people's minds, make them more open to it. Because
Sure,
right
sure.
now, people, DC's playing, they're catching up. They're like sprinting to get to Justice League, whereas Marvel took their time. And so a lot of people are just like, I don't know, they're writing them off. And I think if they have a particularly good trailer, remember when that first Guardians trailer hit, how good that was?
Yes,
And like people
yes.
heard about that movie first, like, what is this? When they saw that trailer, like, I want to see this. They need something like that for Suicide Squad, for Batman vs Superman, just something to get people excited and back on their side.
Something with attitude.
Yeah, if they could do something like, do you guys remember when Watchmen had their big like sizzle reel like the year they
Amazing.
came out of Comic-Con? One of the best. And I was there for that, so I got to actually
wow.
experience
Oh,
that,
man.
and just the Niagara Falls of like seeing Rorschach in motion, and all
Yeah.
that cool stuff. Do you remember?
I do,
like,
yes.
If they could do something like that, then I'm all in. I'm all in for sure. Also, something of my cream dream territory of something I'd like to see them do as far as revealing the Joker and his voice and all that would be. Do you guys remember in the classic Batman, the Burton Batman, when Jack Nicholson did the bat dance through the museum and he had like the big boom box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I want to see Jared Leto come into Hall H through
Oh
the
my God,
crowd
that would be
doing that
cool.
with all of his like henchmen coming in and he's
That
just
would be
dancing
dope.
around. That would be an amazing introduction.
Yeah.
Want that?
Okay. We have a tweet here from Chris Bode at That Boy Bode.
That boy blue.
Bird.
Yeah,
He
boy.
says Gambit info. Anything. Give me Gambit. Let's talk about Fox.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fox They've got X-Men Apocalypse coming out next year. They've got Deadpool coming out, and they've got Gambit rearing up for
Gambit's
production.
in pre-production. They've got Wolverine 3 on the docket. They announced New Mutants.
Yeah.
That's in production.
And a mystery Marvel movie in 2018.
Tell us
Could it
about
be
that.
a
Also covered on-
crossover?
That's the whole thing. That the big rumor is, and here's another story we covered on Nerd, is it could be a Fantastic Four X-Men crossover.
Oh.
We don't know whether they would be fighting each other or working together, but, you know.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
I would argue that's the perfect amount of cooks. Because it's
just a little
something
bit hungry,
that
aren't they?
people- Yes, I did not eat lunch. I want some cooks. No, I think that it's definitely
What is this,
possible.
trucks?
But the thing is, they need to establish Fantastic Four first, which they will. They will have had the new X-Men class that will meet in Apocalypse.
Have you seen Fantastic Four yet?
No, I've not. There's not any press screenings yet. That's probably not going to be until
not a
end
good
of
sign.
July.
That's not a good sign.
It is a good sign. This is way too early to show it.
Is it?
Yes.
coming out again?
The junket, so it comes out August 7th. The junket will be mid-July. They're not going to show it until at least after Comic-Con.
What about a screening at Comic-Con?
Yeah.
How
That
possible
would
is
be
that?
insane if they did that.
It really, really would. I honestly, I have very high hopes for that
Because
movie.
what they're screening at Comic-Con is the Rogue cut of X-Men Days of Future
That's
Past
cool.
with new
Wow.
footage where they put Anna Paquin's Rogue back in the movie.
Yeah, I already
want
pre-ordered it. I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
I just want to see it. I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, but do we think any footage from X-Men Apocalypse?
I think you're going to get a teaser where you might see like some images of the Four Horsemen.
What about Oscar?
What's up?
Will you see
Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse?
Oh, I hope so. I hope you just
First
see him in the
released
power
photo.
armor.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, that'd be dope.
yeah.
How many Comic Cons is this for everyone, by the way?
I
Oh, God.
only went last year was my first time.
Oh, wow.
It was my first time, and I only went for a day, so I'm still a Comic-Con virgin, really. I didn't sit on any panels. I just went on the floor.
This is going to be my 4th time going.
Oh, this is
Wow.
only my third.
Oh, man. I'm the veteran then. I've been going for like 12 or 13 years. now.
Wow.
Jesus, boy.
Yeah. Love my Comic-Cons.
What was the best Comic-Con you ever went to?
Oh, no.
The year was 1996.
Come with me on a little journey. It was awesome.
Nicolas Cage was there talking about a strange
Trucks
new
had just come
Superman
out.
film.
Drive Angry 3D.
I'll tell you about my first Comic-Con. The first Comic-Con I ever went to had a panel of Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Wow.
And they had the whole cast up there, and they were talking about their stuff. Run, Ronnie, Run was coming out. Their
Oh, wow,
movie.
so 2001.
Yeah, it was way back then. It was my
Jeez.
first Comic-Con. So, I don't know. One of my best Comic-Con memories is going to the Scott Pilgrim panel and watching the whole cast come out and talk about Scott Pilgrim, and then Edgar Wright saying, handing out special little Scott Pilgrim pins, and everyone that got a special white pin that had a 1-up on it got to come to the premiere of Scott Pilgrim showing down the street of the theater at Comic-Con.
That's cool.
And Metric played a whole show there.
Very
Wow.
cool.
And the whole cast was there hanging out. It was my best experience at
That's
Comic-Con
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else best experience? I mean, I know you've...
Best experience for me probably was seeing Weezer play live at the Walking Dead party.
I saw them from the fence doing their sound check.
I don't know how I wound up in there, but it was incredible. They were contractually obligated to play El Scorcho, and I've wanted to see them live for years. And then it finally just happened at Comic-Con of all places, which makes sense because Rivers Cuomo is a pretty nerdy. He's like a pretty nerdy guy.
Yeah.
I hung out with Jim Lee last year.
Nice.
Very
yeah,
cool.
that was phenomenal. Yeah,
Snapdragons.
that
Yeah.
was a lot of
What about
fun.
you, Leebs?
Oh man, getting kicked out.
What?
Why?
Because I was using one of a very, very nice SourceFed fan gave me her extra badge, and I was able to go out on the floor. But unfortunately, my first name is not Jessie with an IE, and she was like, "You're that's not your name." I was going up an escalator to get like the free lemonade and punch that was
Yeah.
available.
Bummer.
And
foiled by snacks.
yeah, so I got thwarted by my own appetite.
Always.
Always.
I actually had I can't remember who commented it, so I do apologize. But someone said, will we get any Flash news? I would actually really love to see Ezra Miller because
Yeah.
he was cast, and then that's all we ever heard.
Yeah, that's very important because the Flash TV show came running out of the gate, not meaning to do any puns. And
wish you had.
people love that show, and they love Grant Gustin as that character. They really need to make a strong impression with Ezra Miller. Show how he's different and show how he's just as great, if not better. It's very, very important. Let's talk about TV for a second.
Sure.
Because this is mostly a TV show.
Yeah, 3 words.
yeah,
Legends
so-
of Tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they just announced Phil Klemmer is going to be the showrunner on that, and I really like Phil Klemmer. I didn't watch the Tomorrow
person?
People. No, I like his work. He worked on Chuck and Veronica Mars, which are 2 of my all-time favorite shows. Chuck, one of the greatest nerd shows of all time. So that this guy's in charge gives me a little more confidence. Yeah. What do you guys think? Are they going to bring any? They're going to bring footage. Do you think they're going to bring the pilot?
I don't know
There's
if they're
no
going
way
to bring
the
the
pilot can be
pilot, but
ready.
I think that they're definitely going to show like an extended trailer for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly hoping that's what they're going to do because I think that is, having the full cast there is going to be great,
Mm-hmm.
but giving us an idea of what this is going to look like, what it's going to sound like, what is in store, how it differs from Arrow and Flash. I think that's important to show us what's coming down the pipeline because we're bringing time travel into the mix. Things are going to get off the rails.
Yeah.
What did you think about that first look at Legends of Tomorrow?
It was uneven for me. I
Had a
saw,
lot going on.
I saw all the pieces, but I still couldn't quite see how they're all going to fit together. Like they told us what the story was, but what does that look like every week? Is he going to be plucking someone out and bring them somewhere else every week? Is it going to be Quantum Leap? I don't know.
It's going to be Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I would love it if it was Rick and
Give
Morty.
us that.
Another great way that they could effectively get people excited if they don't have a lot of footage is have the full cast there and do a live table read of the pilot. Where it's just sort of like, we're not showing you what it will look like or what the energy will be, but this is what it could be.
Yeah.
I feel like people could get so optimistic about just what's on the page.
Yeah, don't you think they're maybe too protective of that though to like do something like that? Because I feel like you'd need to like that. That seems like such a visual show that just reading a script would be very like it would be downplaying the
There's
visual
a
element.
certain in that live environment, a table read like that is really awesome. I went to one for Bob's Burgers before, and it was just like it's incredible to see because you picture it in your head because you're familiar with the characters, familiar with what
Sure.
they might look like, but just seeing them, you get that live energy, people bouncing off each other, and people are willing to go along with it. But I do agree with you. I don't think that they would do the whole pilot because they're like
It's a
putting
40
all
minute
their
long.
cards on the table right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, maybe like a scene read.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, Hawk Girl, woohoo!
Yeah. Aren't they talking about making a potential Hot Girl series? Did I read that somewhere?
Yeah, that could be a spin-off.
Yeah.
Already.
Right? CW, soon nothing but DC characters.
Yeah.
To own their own little
Any
spin-offs.
How about Heroes? Anybody want to talk
Oh yeah,
about
Heroes
that
Reborn. They just released a new teaser with our first glimpse of Hiro Nakamura back.
Is
Masioka, yeah.
Is the Nissan Versa back?
Not yet. See, the Nissan Versa didn't hit me as product placement when I first saw it, but when
Same.
they did the Nissan Rogue the second season, when it was only commercials for the Nissan Rogue, and then she's like, "Dad, you got me the Rogue."
Yeah.
I
See-
want to know if Slusho will be back in Heroes.
Oh,
That made a
yeah,
little
that's
cameo
your
in there.
theme.
Well, you know.
What's Slusho? Slusho is the made-up beverage that JJ creates and puts in his movies, and I only figured that out a couple of days ago when Steve told me.
That's right. Slusho. It made it into
Slusho!
Heroes right around the time Cloverfield was coming out.
Okay, Fantastic Ideas wants us to just says Teen Titans, please. And Unlucky Archers in the chat says, any Teens Titans news? There's basically nothing since the announcement. Does TNT have do they have a panel?
No, I don't think so. I don't think TNT has a panel.
Yeah.
Do they still know drama? Do they change that?
No, they still
tagline?
know drama.
I'm gonna do a little
We
Google.
have a pretty good idea what drama is.
What drama is?
Rizzoli and Isles.
Yeah. If they haven't announced a panel, the fact is the show has yet to be greenlit. It's just been announced. They're developing it. No one's been cast. We don't know what the story is. So I don't see them putting together a panel until they have something to say.
Yeah, until there's something more substantial there. It'd be nice. I mean, I'd love to hear
It'd
more
be nice,
about it.
but like TNT also wanted to do Powers years ago. So did FX. Like people announce superhero shows all the time. Until it goes into production, there's nothing to talk about.
So I have an article here from IGN that says the Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Gotham, and Teen Titans Go
Panel.
could have a
Yeah,
panel
well,
at
that's Teen
Comic-Con.
Titans Go on Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
not Titans on TNT.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a fun little cartoon, but it's not live action.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Teen Titans Go.
I bet they'll still do a Supergirl pilot screening at Comic-Con, even though anyone who
It
would attend has
leaked.
already seen it. But
Oh,
just saying. But
If you go, you get swag.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You
well,
come
then
to our
that's-
panel.
Maybe that's worth it.
An extra large T-shirt.
All right, we have to move on because we're running a little low on time. I want to hear a little bit from you, Dan, about Ant-Man, and you
Yes.
just did a set visit on the set of Civil War, Captain America: Civil War. This week, a bunch of people started tweeting, including yourself, about Ant-Man as social media has become disembargoed. Is that is no longer embargoed?
Yes, it's like 2015 Cuba, no
Yeah.
longer under embargo.
Yeah, and word of mouth is very positive.
Yeah, I have to say, when I did that set visit on Ant-Man last year, that really turned things around for me. Got me excited for that picture in a way that none of the marketing did. Ant-Man's had good posters, but it's been a difficult movie for Marvel to market for some reason.
Yes.
And I gotta say, all the Edgar Wright drama aside, I loved it. I really loved it, and I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised by this. It's, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's got great cast. It's very charming, very inventive action, like stuff that we haven't seen before, and it's almost weirder than Guardians in a way. But I think people are really going to dig it, and it's got some incredible connective tissue to the MCU. Make sure you stay all the way through.
Does
the
that
credits.
even need to be said anymore? I can't believe
No,
people
it
in the
does,
theater-
because
I know that's the
There
thing.
is a mid and an end stinger, so stay all the
Yeah,
way
it's
through.
so
There's
Apparently,
two.
they're both great.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of folks were let down by the one at the end of Age of Ultron, and really by Age of Ultron in general. And some folks are saying this is better than Age of Ultron. Did you like it more than Avengers 2?
Parts of it, yes. I think as a complete package, I liked it more than Avengers 2 because it was something that we hadn't really seen before. There's elements of stuff that you've seen, but overall, it was just like from start to finish, it was just so damn charming. Like
That's cool.
Whenever you start being like, I don't know, you're like, you know what? I'm having a great time right now. Who cares? Let's just go with this.
Yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about the Edgar Wright drama? Like, will we ever find out, like, what the hell happened? Like, do you think we'll ever find out specifically what happened?
Specifically, I mean, maybe not specifically, but what happened is Edgar Wright had his script in mind. He had what he wanted to do. Marvel increased the amount of demands and changes they wanted made to the script so they could connect it to the larger MCU. That was not the movie that Edgar wanted to make. He didn't want to jam certain stuff in there. He has such a specific style. Marvel likes to cut stuff several ways. They like to make a dark cut, they like to make a funny cut, and they like to make a third one, the title of which escapes me. They like to have options in the editing room, so they
And
will shoot a lot of footage.
Edgar shoots to cut. He shoots only what he needs.
Exactly. He shoots so tightly, he was not going to give them that freedom to massage it in the editing room because he was going to make an Edgar Wright Ant-Man movie. So what they needed was someone who would be able to still have a creative vision and a sense of style, a sense of purpose, but also be willing to play ball with Marvel.
So does that mean we'll never get an Edgar Wright Marvel movie? Like, does it seem like he would ever come back for any reason?
I can't imagine after trying to make Ant-Man for 6 years with them, unless they're offering him an exorbitant amount of money, that he would do that. I could see someone else trying to snatch him up, like DC, or maybe even like a third party, because I know Valiant's trying to get in the game, or maybe one of these like $1.5 billion video game movies that are starting to pop up.
Sure.
True.
I would much rather see Edgar Wright do another video game movie.
Uncharted 4 needs a director.
Right? His
Whoa.
Uncharted would be
Edgar Wright
crazy.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
An Edgar
man.
Wright big budget adventure movie sounds insane to me.
Starring Simon Pegg as Nathan Drake.
Yeah, right. I'd watch it.
How do you get Nick Frost in there, too?
He'll be Sully. Just like age him up a little bit.
Yeah. Just a white wig.
Wait, so tell us about Civil War, though. You were just there on set.
Yes, I can't tell you a lot about Civil War because the shield sniper rifles will appear on my forehead and my head will be blown into a fine red mist.
Make
All
a
I can
face.
say is
Sorry about the podcasters, but make
it
a
looks
face.
awesome. Like bigger. Like it's definitely, this will give you a taste of what Infinity War will be like because this is the Russos. It's essentially them doing Avengers 2.5. And I think people are it's gonna be something like we haven't seen before from Marvel. I know I just said that about Ant-Man, but this is uniting all of these disparate pieces that we've built up over the past 2 phases and just really like blowing the lid off of it. But I'm like pretty embargoed on that stuff until 2016, or else Kevin Feige will punch me in the dick.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That sounds
Which doesn't
painful.
sound so bad.
No, he's got a giant
sounds pretty
fist.
bad.
I'd let Kevin Feige.
He's gonna put on the
punch me in
Infinity
dick.
Gauntlet and dick punch
Okay,
me.
well then, then I don't want it.
I before he said Infinity Gauntlet, I wanted him to put on one of them Hulk hands.
Yeah.
Oh, like
little
the
plastic
toy
Hulk.
one?
Rock 'em,
Smash.
sock 'em, Hulk hands.
What was Paul Rudd like, interview wise?
Oh, he was great. I remember
you guys
on the
chat
set
about?
visit, he kept coming back in costume trying to surprise us, but we were never in the interview room. And then finally the third time he's like, thank God you guys are here. I like have tried to surprise you with this costume 3 times now. He looked awesome in person in the costume. It looks great on screen. And he's just like he's like the nicest guy. He was so happy to be a part of this. He's like very bemused by it all and just like very humble about it. I think people are really going to dig it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so it's time to move on to our question of the day. Tweet at us using the hashtag SHRoundup in order to give us your thoughts. So there was a rumor that dropped this week that everyone's running with, which is that Ben Affleck has been tapped to direct the standalone Batman movie called potentially The Batman.
Can we start about talking about that name?
The Batman.
What about a Batman?
Exactly.
You want a different definite article.
Or I Batman.
Or
Me, Batman?
or
Me?
another Batman?
Look who's Batmaning now.
Batman.
Just another manic Batman?
10,000 Batmaniacs.
The Batman is just. Bleh.
Whatever. Who cares as long as it's good? You can
Yeah.
call it Batman's poops.
Well, that's the big question for me is it's very difficult to direct and star in a movie at the same time. And Ben Affleck's done it on 2 occasions in Argo and The Town, which are both great
Love
movies.
'em.
Terrific movies. But a superhero movie is a whole other animal. Your brain is already in 10 different places before you even come to performance, and that performance has to hold the movie together.
Sure.
Do you think he can do it?
He's going to need a solid AD backing him up, someone who can have his back, someone he trusts implicitly.
Christopher Nolan.
Matt Damon.
Matt
Damon.
Kevin Smith.
How do you like them batarangs?
No.
Oh my God.
The
No.
only thing I can think of is that he's already done Batman versus Superman. So he's played the character for an entire movie, and he's kind of done that
Okay.
enough to maybe expand upon the role.
Sure, as long as we don't get another goddamn origin movie. We don't need that anymore.
No,
Everyone
because
knows-
he's already established.
Yeah.
He's established, and not just established, old in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
He's somebody who's a bit of a rebel.
Grizzled.
Grizzled is the word they keep
That is the
using.
word they
Salt
keep
and
using.
pepper.
Yeah.
And I know that they,
Marble.
Batman's got a dad bod.
Like prosciutto.
I know that they keep. I mean, in true style of the DC Batman, it's like there is a love interest, but I just kind of felt like the only thing about Nolan's love interests in those movies, that they felt
Yeah.
really flat and
Yeah.
they weren't great, and they were kind of like the poorer part of the movies. I'd like to have someone that can really hold their own in this. I'd like that casting to be spot on.
I'd like Batman's love interest to be crazily cleaning the streets of Gotham, because at the end of the day, he can't keep a relationship because he's addicted to fighting crime.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
His first love is striking fear into the hearts of Gotham's criminals.
We need to talk about Batman. Could be a potential.
Yeah, and then Ezra Miller will cross over as the
Yeah.
Flash / Kevin.
Yeah.
My
Perfect.
conversation with Batman.
My dinner with
My
Batman.
dinner with Batman.
My dinner
I'm
with
okay
Batman.
with. I mean, look.
Trucks.
Again, I think we're not. I've already said this before in a nerd story where we kind of talked about this as well, but I feel like we're never gonna get another Nolan verse Batman movie. Just for the sake of not getting Nolan back for another Batman movie, we could potentially reach the level of Nolan versus Batman. I mean, knock on wood, movies, but so might as well hope for the best. You know, like we're probably not gonna get close to the Nolan verse with this next series.
They would be best suited by looking to what has been so well done in the past several years, and that is Scott Snyder's Batman comic for DC.
Yes.
Do Court of Owls. Just do that, because that is a fresh take. It's fresh in the modern Batman canon, and it's something we have never seen on film before.
For those who are unaware with the arc, can you explain it?
Basically, there is a secret society that has existed in Gotham as pretty much since its inception, called the Court of Owls, and they rise up, come against Batman, shit goes down, he nearly dies, but this is like a scary, terrifying new villain. It's basically like Gotham City's Illuminati coming out of the woodwork and then like destroying his life.
It's kind of like what's going on the show Gotham right now, or like except instead of the Illuminati, it's like all the people
the
who
fish-
work with the Wayne board or
Fish
something.
Moonanati.
Ugh,
Moonanati.
I hate that show so much. But yeah, I think that would be a really great idea. I think the important thing is to try not to make it like any Batman movies that have existed before. And I think that Ben Affleck, he directs a great-looking movie.
Yeah.
They have energy, they have weight, you get a sense of place. I really, really enjoyed Argo and The Town, and Gone Baby Gone is a great
But they're
movie.
just different movies. Like, one is so action-heavy. Can you really kind of direct an action shot and be in it? Like,
Right.
Easily.
Well, that's where a good AD would come in.
Yeah.
But he needs
and
a
do good
co-director.
job.
But the example that I keep coming back to is Dick Tracy. Warren Beatty directing and starring in Dick Tracy, and it's maybe the worst performance of his career.
Right.
Because you can't build a character. I mean, you raised the good point, Maude, of he'll already have played the character at this point, but I don't know.
Yeah, he should have been in Dick Tracy v Superman.
Dick Tracy v Superman sounds great.
Stupid.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. So Chris Evans reportedly is leaving acting to focus on directing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you think that that Marvel could coax him to stay in the character by offering him the opportunity to direct a future Captain America film when Steve
man.
Rogers is inevitably
Why not?
killed and then resurrected?
Why not? At the end of the day, we're going to get so many Captain America movies and so many Thor movies and so many... Like, why not? Let anybody direct it.
At that
Not
point,
anybody.
Let DJ direct
Let
one.
Uwe Boll direct.
oh man,
Let Ross have... Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that at that point we'll have seen so many other people's versions of Captain America. Why not give him a shot at it? Especially if he's got the chops for it.
Yeah.
May as well. Except unless you're gonna unleash the floodgates of every actor then directing their own superhero movie.
no.
Yeah. Here's sorry, go ahead.
I was going to be a little bit more biased with Chris Evans and his Marvel characters. I'd like to see him back as the Human Torch, as Johnny Storm.
He was great.
So can he do like a Johnny Storm squared, and he can direct himself and Michael B. Jordan together?
Yeah.
Here, since this was our question of the day, don't throw these up on screen because I'm going to read them really fast, but we've got a bunch of tweets from folks.
Woo!
Here's an idea. Batman v. Quinn in Batman. Throw in some Ivy and we got a really cool concept from 67 Blind. Tom Gehring wants to see the ventriloquist on film. I think that's a very interesting idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
very-
that's fun.
Very creepy.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
creepy. I love the ventriloquist.
Sure.
Nicola Tahan says Ben Affleck directing Batman could be awesome. He can create tension out of nowhere, like the airport in Argo.
That's
Okay.
true.
Ren Einsburn at Ren Zero says, first question, will Batman be blind? Second question, can we make him blind?
Oh.
Blind as a Batman.
Yes. A better title than the Batman. Let's see. Shannon Alcorn says, Ben Affleck directing Batman and playing Batman, I'm totally on board. We could use some more Batman standalone films. I don't think anyone is arguing with you. And, Michael Pickard at Pickard Your Nose says, Batfleck's Batflick would be extremely urban. I'm all on board. Matt Damon for Talon in the Court of Owls.
Wow. All right, maybe.
You know, that's
Interesting.
something I hadn't even considered. Is this may be the one opportunity for someone to lure Matt Damon into the world of superheroes, and I feel like he never gets the chance to play villains and to do that for his friend,
He kind of
with
did an
his
Interstellar.
friend.
Or talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
Okay, talented Mr. Ripley, and
He's like the best turncoat.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
he
why
is, 'cause you don't
that's why his
expect it.
bit in Interstellar was so
so
fun.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Like an Edward Nygma or something like that? Or like a...
He'd be way too jacked for Riddler.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if he's
Have you seen the Arkham games, though?
Yeah, I
isn't
mean,
he kinda
everyone in that
jacked?
game has
It's
done so much HGH.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the idea of him playing someone like Talon or like someone unexpected, someone who's not a traditional
What
villain.
about
We need a new
Clayface?
Scarecrow.
Clayface? He would be a
Ooh.
dope Clayface. I really think that he could capture the pathos of him as he's transformed and the fact that he's just this no longer a human. I love that idea.
Ooh, Joker origin story.
Matt
says
Damon as
Yoff.
Two-Face. I don't know how I feel about that.
Cool. Matt Damon as Two-Face?
Yeah.
I just didn't like how they. I don't like how they did it. What was his name? Aaron
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart.
Eckhart.
You
with
didn't like the
bumper
CG?
chin. I think that they could have. It's like with the prequels all over again. It's like they had Anakin too late. It's like give Two-Face a chance. He was too much of a.
They didn't even give
was the
Two-Face
mayor.
one of those sweet Padawan braids either.
I feel like you're mocking me.
No.
I don't want to. I think we need to put the Two-Face on hold for a little bit since we just saw him in the Nolan verse.
He's
maybe.
used a little too frequently, whereas he does not have the same staying power as the Joker, who you almost want right off the bat.
Yeah, you want him right away.
What about the
He's-
Scarecrow?
Scarecrow's good. They used him in Batman Begins. I think that they can tap into... Batman has so many awesome rogues, so many villains that they can take from. I feel like they should go a little bit outside of that a little bit.
Oscar Rivas in the chat is just going ham on Hush.
Oh,
Wait a
Hush would
minute.
be good.
Someone was saying a Frank Miller Batman movie.
Kind of what we're getting.
How about like a Robert Rodriguez Batman movie?
No.
No?
He's too sloppy. Like, I love his energy in his movies, but like Batman has to be
Sharp.
brooding, foreboding,
That's true. Plus, it'd be
sharp.
like all green screens and shit too.
Yeah,
so.
like I would love to see.
Ooh, Cumberbatch is the Riddler.
That would be cool.
I mean, there's already Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a well-done Mr. Freeze in the same vein as the Batman animated series, like Hearts of Ice episode, something like that, where you have this like tragic character.
Who, Steve?
Come on, find it.
Use your brain.
David Tennant Riddler.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Well-
got total riddle face.
And he's been a bad guy before.
He's
in
about to be the
Harry
Purple
Potter.
Man in Jessica Jones.
Yes,
On,
he's about to be the villain in Jessica
yeah.
Jones.
I
Who
just
is
got
a-
a boner.
Horrifying villain.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wait.
Tell
so
me about him.
Yeah, tell us about the Purple Man.
He pretty much
Is he
the
purple?
reason why Jessica Jones had to stop being a superhero in
Oh.
the comics, because he can mind control people, made her do some messed up shit, and then ruined her life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Aw.
Very cool.
Eddie Redmayne as the Riddler, says Tycho Z.
He's too nice.
He's too nice, and he's the front man of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Him, and they're going to make sure
Yeah.
that he's making nothing but those movies until they tank.
Eddie
Right.
Redmayne as his Jupiter Ascending character in Gotham City
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved him in that movie because he is bonkers.
He just went for it.
yeah. It was just all pained whispers until shouting.
What happened to my shirt?
I saw someone say Paul Dano as the Scarecrow.
Paul Dan. Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes, that guy.
Right?
That guy is great. Every time I see him on film, he's just fantastic.
Paul
Like,
Dano as Clock King.
Ooh, it's about time.
Yeah.
I love the puns. Someone said Steve is Maud.
Steve as Maud.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
My nose is getting so blocked I can barely say my own name.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
guys.
man, Patrick Stewart for Freeze. That'd be a really, really cool bit of casting.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
I think they need to do Freeze again because it was so poorly done in the only
wow.
movies that we don't really talk about.
What performance are you referring to?
Which one are you alluding to?
Freeze is coming.
I literally watched that movie last night. I screened that movie here in Hollywood, and we just had an absolute blast.
I love
You Need to
it.
Winterize Your Pipes is still my favorite.
Oh, what about
Just all
was
his
it
goons on hockey,
Yeah.
Elle
like ice
McPherson?
skates.
Was the
Elle
love-
McPherson as his
yeah.
girlfriend. Gossip Gertie is the biggest reporter in Gotham,
then
and it's just
Batnips.
Joel Schumacher's old friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Batnips.
Batnips.
Peter Dinklage
Batnips.
as Scarface. Oh my God.
Oh my God! How twisted
shit.
is that? That there? Wait, no, but that he's literally a puppet. You're not going to cast a little person as a puppet, no matter how great he is at it. Yeah,
But in a perfect world.
but
I'm contractually obligated to mention Coneheads.
are you contractually obligated?
Today's
to
show
mention
brought to you by Coneheads. Coneheads, it was a sketch.
Yeah.
Then a major motion picture.
And then a type of head.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Fringe, but Michael Cerveris, who played the main observer on that show, would be a terrific Mr. Freeze. He played Sweeney Todd on Broadway, won a Tony Award for it. He's an incredible actor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Any other thoughts on the upcoming Batman or folks directing and starring in their own movies before we wrap up?
Nope. I just hope they do a good Green
Oh.
Lantern reboot.
Yes, you have to call it the Batman should be called Batfleck.
No.
Batfleck's
Batfleck?
Batfleck?
Yes,
Batfleck's Batfleck?
yes. Batfleck.
I think they cross over with Legends of Tomorrow, Bat to the Future.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Can we have Christopher Lloyd in that one?
Yeah. Or why don't we just give Alfred an origin story, Rise of a Butler?
That's another crazy thing in Batman and Robin. He's just got this brother who's another butler somewhere in India. It's just
Yeah.
a family of butlers.
Wait, is Batman and Robin the one where you see Chris O'Donnell do like the laundry kung fu
no,
scene?
that's Batman Forever.
God, that is like what an amazing and or garbage scene.
Oh yeah, but you do have Alicia Silverstone, who's an expert at computers,
Yeah.
and she's guessing
That's
Alfred's
compost.
password. Alfred's
Was
password.
it Ben
Yes.
No, England.
Is that it?
Yeah, no. The password is Peg, but her guesses are like Wayne. England,
Crumpet, spot of tea,
Butler,
Vegemite.
yeah,
Turkish delight.
Queen Victoria. It's bonkers.
The Beatles.
Hello, puppet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, we do have to wrap up. Dan, what is your book called once again? Where
It's
can people
called
find it?
100 Things Avengers fans should know and do before they die. And if you like Star Wars, I have another one
Yes!
coming out this fall.
Yay.
Yeah, so that's 100 things every Star Wars fan needs to know and do before they die.
100 things Star Wars fans should know and do before they die.
Probably,
Fantastic.
I reckon I'm like
And,
up in the 70s for that.
And where else can people find you?
You can find me. I do a lot of stuff on Nerdist.com. I have a weekly show there called The Dan Cave. You can find me online at Osteoferocious, like the crippling bone disease, but meaner.
That's good.
Yeah, and we just did here at SourceFedNERD, we just did a big partnership with Stan Lee's Power Entertainment and the YouTube space. We put out a new sketch. It's called If Superheroes Were Real. And it features myself and Maude and Steve and some very, very, very special guests, including an amazing cameo that I will not spoil for you that you will want to see. You can check it out on youtube.com/SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman. We do this show every single week, Fridays, 4 p.m., live, talking about TV,
I'm so
movies,
sorry. I'm
comics.
so sorry.
Got guests, Maude burps, Steve
I'm sorry.
farts. It's fantastic.
Hey, can you tease us some things you should do as a Star Wars fan before you die? Is one to go to Tunisia or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. You can plan your Star Wars vacation, go to see all the original shooting sites. I have 7 cocktail recipes in case you want something to grip and sip on while you're reading
Little
it.
jury
Amazing.
juice, a
Yeah,
little blue
and
milk.
also how to get involved in making your own droids. So you
Is-
can have your little,
Oh,
your
yeah.
own R2D2.
Have you got one in there where it's like have start a relationship, make them like you so much that they say that they love you, and then respond by saying I know, because I've done that.
No, mine is immediately if you see a girl that you like, start out by being enslaved on a desert hellhole, and then tell her she's an angel, then flash forward 10 years, and then just marry her for some reason.
Yeah, that'll work every time.
In a field.
Yeah.
Is there
With
anything-
only your 2 robot pals there.
Is there anything in there about acting like a normal human being when someone tells you that they've never seen Star Wars?
Yeah, it's chapter 1. Chapter 1. Keep your shit together.
Maude, this is an audio podcast too.
That's how I react.
Maude was just
That is-
writhing around on the couch.
She was just reading the text of that
Highly
chapter.
erotic.
Yeah, it boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us. Come watch us live every Friday, 4 p.m. We will see you next week. Have a good week.
Goodbye, Seamus Cole.
Goodbye.
Bingo.
Goodbye,
Bye.
QM Studios.